In the grand theater of American democracy, we the people cast our votes, cheer our leaders, and pretend the show is ours. But pull back the curtain just a little, and you'll see the real directors, unelected, unaccountable, and utterly entrenched. Joe Biden, a figurehead, stumbling through lines written by others. The true power? It lies with the international deep state establishment. Today on the Stateless Standard, we expose one of its crown jewels, the Council on Foreign Relations. Not a dusty think tank, but the men behind the curtain, orchestrating wars, economies, and empires. Buckle up, this isn't conspiracy theory, it's history, served with a side of well-earned skepticism. Let's start at the roots, because nothing this rotten sprouts overnight. Secret societies shaping the world? It's as old as power itself. Even George Washington, father of the nation, smelled the rot before he died. In 1798, he pored over John Robinson's Proofs of a Conspiracy, a book warning that the Illuminati, those Enlightenment-era Freemason radicals, had slithered across the Atlantic, infecting America's fragile republic with Jacobin fever. Washington didn't dismiss it as fringe nonsense. He feared it. Robinson argued these Bavarian plotters weren't just playing at Enlightenment. They were engineering chaos for control. Fast forward, and the playbook hasn't changed. Today, the usual suspects whisper in the wings: the Trilateral Commission, the Bilderberg Group, the World Economic Forum. But the granddaddy? The Council on Foreign Relations, or CFR to those in the know. Founded not in some smoky backroom, but right in the blood-soaked aftermath of World War I. Picture this, 1917. America enters the fray, and behind the scenes, a shadowy cabal called the Inquiry convenes. About 100 of the era's sharpest minds, bankers, lawyers, intellectuals, huddle under the watchful eye of Edward Mandell House, Woodrow Wilson's eminence grise. House wasn't elected. He was the spider in the web, a Marxist-tinged Fabian socialist who dreamed of remaking society. House's brainchild? The Inquiry drafts Wilson's famous 14 points, that blueprint for a post-war utopia. Tear down economic barriers, equal trade for all. And here's the kicker, a general association of nations to keep the peace. Sounds noble, right? Until you realize it's the seed of global government, planted by men who profit from the soil. House even penned a novel, Philip Drew Administrator, in 1912, a dystopian fantasy where a supreme administrator seizes power, imposes a central bank, a graduated income tax, and tames the political parties. Cynical applause. Within years, the Federal Reserve blooms, the 16th Amendment passes, and the parties? Well, they're still dancing to the same tune. By 1919, the Paris Peace Conference seals the deal with the Treaty of Versailles, a vindictive mess that sows the seeds for World War II. Wilson drags along House bankers like Paul Warburg and Bernard Baruch and 24 Inquiry alumni. They push the League of Nations, that supranational dream. But the US Senate, they weren't buying it. Too much sovereignty on the chopping block. Undeterred, House pivots. On May 30th, in the opulent, majestic hotel in Paris, he rallies the delegates. Let's build an Institute of International Affairs. One branch for the Brits, the Royal Institute, or Chatham House. And for us Yanks, the Council on Foreign Relations, incorporated July 20, 1921 in New York. Who foots the bill? The usual suspects: John D. Rockefeller, Paul Warburg. The architect of the Fed, Jacob Schiff, Otto Kahn, and the J.P. Morgan clan. These weren't philanthropists. They were the vultures who circled the 1907 panic, devouring the carcass to birth the Federal Reserve. The CFR's first president, John W. Davis, Morgan's personal attorney. Vice President, Paul Cravath, another Morgan crony. Chairman, Russell Leffingwell, straight from the Morgan Partnership. It's not a club, it's a cartel dressed in pinstripes. Fast forward to the meat grinder of World War II and the Cold War thaw. From 1945 through the 60s, CFR men aren't just advising, they're driving. Their mission? An independent, nonpartisan think tank publishing foreign affairs, shaping policy for elites, officials, journalists, and the occasional wide-eyed student. But here's the cynicism. Critics, and not the tinfoil hat crowd, say the CFR's fingerprints are on every major 20th century conflict. Wars aren't accidents, they're investments. Multinational business blooms from the rubble, treaties bind nations like chains, and the endgame? World government, one supranational step at a time. Don't take my word. Admiral Chester Ward, retired Navy Judge Advocate General, and ironically, a CFR member, blew the whistle in 1975. The main purpose of the Council, he wrote, is to promote the disarmament of the US and its surrender of sovereignty to a one-world government. He parsed the cliques. One faction erodes national borders, the other, Wall Street's finest, craves global banking monopoly, all under elite control. Their method? Flood the zone with research that masquerades as scholarship, intellectually disarming opponents while politicians parrot the lines. As Ward and Phyllis Schlafly detailed in Kissinger on the Couch, it's a symphony of subversion. And foreign affairs? That quarterly Bible isn't just reading material, it's a signal flare. Encyclopedia Britannica once noted its ideas routinely morph into US policy or law. Every administration since FDR, riddled with CFR alumni. Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, Nixon, check. Clinton's team alone boasted over 100. Even Trump the outsider, leavened with CFR dough. Gary Allen nailed it and none dare call it conspiracy. There's no daylight between Nixon and Humphrey, both CFR puppets. Break the insider's grip on the parties, he urged. Or the Republic's just a stage prop. The rot runs deeper into the intelligence swamp. Nearly every CIA director since Allen Dulles, himself a CFR pillar, has been a card-carrying member. The agency? Less a shield for America, more a sword for CFR interests. It's their public-facing muscle, guarding the club from prying eyes. And those bylaws? Article 2 is a gem. Spill details of meetings, and you're out. Secret society? You bet. Chatham House rules on steroids. Membership's the real tell. Invitation only, naturally. Started at 1,600, now over 5,000 of the world's most connected finance titans, media moguls, academics, generals. To join? A member proposes you, another seconds, a committee vets, staff screens, and the board. Anoint or excommunicate. It's less meritocracy, more monarchy. The board's a rogues gallery. Larry Fink of BlackRock, hoarding trillions. Laurene Powell Jobs, Emerson Collective Empress, and, whispers say, Ghislaine Maxwell's confidant. Ruth Porat, Alphabet's money maven. The rank and file? Wall Street wolves, foundation fat cats, think tank drones, ex-ambassadors, presidents emeritus, secretaries of state, lobbyist leeches, media barons, Ivy League overlords, even NATO brass and Pentagon suits. Power's the common thread. Corporate perks, twice-yearly briefings from the likes of Treasury secretaries or CIA directors. Members Apple, Chevron, Citi, Exxon, Goldman, Google, Meta. The Fortune 500's shadow cabinet. Secrecy? Ironclad, courtesy of a compliant press. J. Anthony Lucas once quipped the CFR gets more ink in Pravda than the New York Times. Coincidence? Please. It's the ultimate gentleman's agreement. We shape your world, you pretend not to notice. So is the CFR a harmless salon for statesmen, or the men behind the curtain, scripting our subjugation? History whispers the latter, but certainty's the one luxury they deny us. In a world of illusions, the only constant is the uncertainty they thrive on. Thanks for joining the Stateless Standard, where we stateless souls peel back the layers. If this stirred your inner skeptic, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Who's pulling your strings? Until next time, stay vigilant.